and welcome to the show, and on today's video Scuba Pete is taking a look at his favorite G.I. Joe playset.
But how cool is that? A winch down to a floating dock.
Also, Jeff is taking a look at one of his favorite G.I. Joe playsets. And three men are having a chat about more G.I. Joe playsets.
Come on, it's only, like $5.
I guess you can see where the topic of today's video is going. And to kick things off, I want to show you what I think is the greatest of all. The best G.I. Joe playset in the world. My favorite G.I. Joe playset isn't the biggest. It's one of the smaller ones. Checkpoint Alpha. And what a playset this is. Comes with a little guardhouse, Law and Order and Tunnel Red are on watch today. The guard tower is well equipped with a searchlight, camera, there's an antenna, and if some cheeky cobras or dreadnoughts show up, there is some needed firepower here to chase them away. This small playset took center in many of my G.I. Joe Toy Time adventures back in the 80s. When a small playset like this sparks a huge wave of fantasy playtime, then it's a winner in my book. Checkpoint Alpha, for me, the coolest G.I. Joe playset in the world.
Hey everybody! Today we're talking about one of my favorite things, playsets! Specifically, our favorite G.I. Joe playsets. Behind me is my first pick, the Tactical Battle Platform. Come on along, let's check out all of its awesome features.
Here she is. This is hands down my favorite G.I. Joe playset of all time. I have many, as you are probably well aware, but this is my favorite. This is also my childhood one. This came out in 1985, and it only cost $12 back in the day. Can you believe it? This baby has been on so many missions, and by missions I mean vacations. This went to the lakes up in Minnesota, to the grandparents' house. You name it, I took it with me, and it survived quite well. I mean, this is packed with features. You've got the adjustable legs, depending on the terrain that you're in. The cool dock that folds out. Laser cannon. Helideck in the back. That is some Pepsi Cola. Also from a childhood Pepsi truck, but those were always the drinks for my Joes. Surface to air missiles. Command center galore. You got searchlight, radio antenna, all kinds of consoles. And then you got like a cool little trench in the back. Some molded in details of explosives that lead to the little armory with the winch. Yes, it's missing the guns. I lost those long ago. But how cool is that? A winch down to a floating dock. You might recognize that from Stompers. But this is how I normally display it in a joint ops with Q-Force. Love it. I mean, it just lends itself to an amazing play value. There's the frigate Ron made me. I mean, it looks beautiful next to it. This is the first time I've put those two together, and I had quite a lot of fun setting this up. But ladies and gentlemen, the Tactical Battle Platform. My second pick is the 1987 Mobile Command Center. Now, affectionately, I think it looks quite like a tackle box when it's folded out, but who cares, because it is packed with features. Up front driving it is Steamroller. He's tucked into the cockpit. He doesn't come with a weapon, but that's okay. He drives one big weapon, because this baby is packing. Radar missile launcher. Third deck missile launcher. Rear missile launcher. Also comes with 6 laser guns, 4 spotlights for Spotlight and Cobra. Folded out, how cool is this? We've got a giant repair bay. Got my Awe Striker pulled in there. Getting fueled up. Toll booth, that's not how you fix a tire. Stop him, crankcase. Does have an Awe Striker spare engine, which is wicked. Love it. And a cool mechanic panel back there. Weapon storage here. I did find a little Checkpoint Alpha clipboard stuffed in there from the previous owner. How awesome is that? Up to the second deck, the command deck. Hello, Snake Eyes, Timber. We've got a jail. I wonder who's in there. We've also got a med bay. Of course, Shipyard's goofing off. That's Vacation Flint, reading him the Riot Act. And like always, we're doing joint ops with Action Force. But there's Breaker, Manning, the computers, and reel-to-reel tapes. What the? Cool radar board. I love it because it has that kind of Hoth Echo bass look to it, but very cool feature. And of course, Breaker's chair slides along there so he can be very efficient. Up to the third deck. Look at that, a landing pad. Hey, those guys aren't G.I. Joe, but I love it when a plan comes together. Got plenty of extra missiles. Tunnel Rats checking on numbers for the launcher. You can see a figure inside the launcher, which is a cool touch. Down in the back, what's that? That would be an escape slide if everything goes south. Then to the side, got Duke, of course, riding up in the elevator because he doesn't do steps, he's command. How great is this set? I love it. I never had it as a kid, so I'm quite happy to be owning it now. I give you the 1987 Mobile Command Center.
And now, on to my favorites.
This is the 1992 G.I. Joe headquarters. Most of us are very familiar with the original headquarters from 1983, but I had never heard or seen the 92 headquarters until about a year ago when I came across this box example in an online auction. It came complete, even though the big rotary rocket out front doesn't shoot, but at least all the missiles are there. So I went ahead and bought it. For me, it's got the same amount of nooks and crannies and play scenarios as the Mobile Command Center from '87, which I absolutely adore. It just doesn't have treads to move around with. What it does have is multiple levels for the Joes to hang out on, including this top platform that has sandbags all around it. It's got a detention center, which Cobra Commander can escape from. There's a garage area where vehicles can be worked on and hoisted up and down. The back area has control consoles and a weird arm of consoles and gadgets that fold out that allow you to communicate with Joes in the field. There's a gantry-style elevator that looks like it's hard to get off of when you get to the top. The front is fortified with a massive missile launching system, which on this one doesn't work, but that's okay.
and it's a sandbag area right behind it to fight from. Both are accessible from the main area by an orange ramp. Speaking of sandbags, they are sculpted all around into the headquarters. To me, this looks like a forward operating headquarters that's ready for a large-scale siege. I would have played with this as a forward operating base with an airfield around it, fighting off Cobra while launching helicopters and jet strikes, and trying to keep Cobra from breaching the outer perimeter. When Cobra does attack, there's a bunch of functioning missile launchers that can launch missiles to fight them off. And this headquarters can sustain hits. The top part has a collapsible top for when Cobra gets lucky and scores a strike. One of the coolest features is one of the most useful, and that's how you store this beast. When you're done playing with it, you can fold up the 2 outside wings, fold up the brown control arm in the back, fold the crane underneath the tower, and slide the front sandbag and missile area under the main tower like a tray. This makes the playset go from an overall width of 34 inches and a depth of 32 inches down to a width of 16 inches and a depth of 13 inches. It also makes it sturdy enough to move it around pretty easily without worrying about it breaking apart. I gotta say, in a time when I thought G.I. Joe was losing its mojo, this one knows how to bring out the fun. This is the 1984 Bivouac Battle Station. In 1984, G.I. Joe came out with a set of 3 battle stations and 3 battlefield accessory sets. These little sets are absolutely amazing, and when used together with larger vehicles or playsets, really add to the battlefield setup. They all came with a lot of small accessories that were easily lost, and the Bivouac is no different. On this one, the water canteen is so small and it seems to always be missing, as well as the little shovel, machete, and axe that go in the stand. The antenna for the radio is also easily lost, and the bomb for the mortar is frequently gone. The cot legs are also easily misplaced. So yeah, you kind of get the idea. Basically, these are tough to find complete. But once you do, you have a great little set that does what attracted me to G.I. Joes in the first place. They are highly detailed, small, realistic military toys that can provide hours of fun. And put them with the rest of your Joes and their vehicles, and there's no telling what your team can do. There's no day glow paint jobs here, just pure military fun. With the Bivouac, your Joes can operate in the field for days on end and still have a defensible place to rest, defend an observation area from Cobra, or call in armor support if needed. They can camp out in the bush or a burned out building and be the eyes and ears of the battalion, or they can just go camping with their buddies. The Bivouac and all the battle station sets really were amazing and great concepts and designs, and provided the basis for play scenarios that really sparked an imagination. I mean, you can take these things and really just kind of build upon them, add them to other play sets, add them to other vehicles, and really have hours of endless fun with them.
And we're back. If you would be watching Top Gear or the Grand Tour, this would be the part where we say, and now the news. We're going to call it 3 guys talking about play sets we haven't shown already. And there's a ton of G.I. Joe play sets, and it's going to be impossible to get each and every one in this video. But we're doing our best. We're going to start with a big one from 1983. Headquarter Command Center was also in the cartoon. What are you guys' thoughts about this big boy?
Go ahead, Pete. You take this one first.
This is a great set.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's modular. I never had it as a kid. It's displayed behind me, but I like that it's modular, that you don't have to display it all in one giant piece. If you didn't want to, you could really spread it out and make your Joe base even bigger. But I mean, it's packed with features. The jail, the motor pool, the tank pad that, is on the side, and a hella landing port. Come on.
I agree. The sprawl of it is huge, and it is modular, so you can make it go different places, like if you're setting up a battlefield or something. But also that it's made to fit exactly some of the vehicles, like the Ostriker. The wheels fit right in with the ramp pad for the garage, and it's got the detention center in the back, and the big laser gun in the front is just it's just super cool. I mean, and the helicopter landing pad. The pad is cool because you can take it and move it in other places. I didn't have one as a kid either, but we had a neighbor that I played with on that had one, and I've got one. That was one of the when I got back into Joe's. It was one of the first sets that I picked up.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages. G.I. Joe USS Flag aircraft carrier comes with what you see here. Other figures and equipment sold separately from Hasbro. Now back to G.I. Joe.
A much smaller set. Air Defense Unit, and this was from the year, if I'm not mistaken, 85. Small set. What do you think of that one, lads? Jeff?
I love these. These are part of the Battle Station line of little kind of lower entry level Joe play sets, like the Checkpoint and the Bunker, and we're going to get to and talk about. But I love these because you can get a couple of them and make a really cool play set area, and they're great add-ons to the bigger play sets as like little point defense areas, and they just really add something to the whole thing. To everything you add them to. They're great add-ons.
It was just perfect price point, and like you said, it totally pluses up.
Yep.
A lot of your larger sets.
Yeah, we're gonna stick with the smaller battle sets or play sets. This is another one, a favorite of mine for sure. The Outpost Defender from the year 1986. This was series 5, I believe. That's a cool set, guys. Love it. Yeah, the same what you just said goes for this one, I guess, right, Pete?
Those sandbag details.
Yeah.
You can't beat the molding on those. I've actually purchased extra, parts of the sandbags for other displays because they just look so good. And I didn't get that set until just about 2 months ago up in Indianapolis at a shop. And I couldn't believe it. And I had to get the antenna. I still need a couple of the posts for it. But it's so compact, but yet it has a ton going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the corrugated tin roof is just awesome.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a toy line do sandbags better than G.I. Joe. For everything they do there, it's either the built-in molded ones or the standalone sandbags that you can stack. These things, and a lot of these battle stations and battlefield accessory sets seems like they're really geared towards the forward observer and the person out in the field getting stuff done. They're awesome.
Yeah, definitely. A play set which came out a year later with almost the same name, the Coastal Defender from '87. Fun little vehicle. What do you think of this one, Jeff?
I don't know about this. I have this one too, and I picked him up just kind of recently, but it's just so weird. It's like it's a box on wheels that opens up, and it's, I can kind of see the military thinking behind it because it's like, okay, it's easily compactable and transportable, like in a C-130 or something to, go forward and go to the coast and defend it. But to see it's a coastal defender, it feels kind of British to me because it's a coastal defender, but it's just, and you got this chair that he's sitting in and shooting missiles, and it's just, I don't know. It's a weird one. It's cool, but it's just weird.
I feel like it's a porta potty with missiles.
Yep. Agreed.
It's a fun one. Yeah, we're gonna move to another one which I kind of like. It's the Law Laser Artillery Weapon, and this one came out in '86, also part of Series 5. A very cool play set, which could be. I used this back in the day as a center point for adventures. I didn't have big play sets, so this was a base for me that the Joes have to defend against Cobra Commander charging it. Nice. How do you guys like that one?
Oh yeah, it's a fave. I had it, still have it.
I had never really seen it much. I love those, and again, just like sandbags, Joe stuff is very cool when it comes to consoles and control panels and stuff, and that has a really cool control area.
We had the bivouac earlier in this video. The next set I'm going to show you is sort of a follow-up set, I believe. It's the Forward Observer Unit from, I believe, '85. This came out. Well, how do you rate this one, Jeff, compared with the bivouac?
I didn't really know much about this one. They always do the big weapons, the mortars. For some reason, mortars are always well done. I love the little the sighting glass on that one, and of course the ammo rack. But that one feels a little thrown together to me. It doesn't seem to have the cohesion as the other ones, as well as a full concept. It's just like here's some. It's kind of, but it's cool. You know, it fits right in with the line.
We're gonna move to the enemy. Show a few Cobra sets, and Cobras definitely need to improve their aiming a bit. So that's why Cobra Commander was feeling generous that year, and he gifted them with this Cobra rifle range unit, and this was brought out in '85.
Yeah, it's like, you know, go practice with your Cobras. It's like you want them to be attacking things, not practicing attacking things. But it's a cool set. I mean, anything that comes with extra guns and things like that was always cool for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that that berm molding that they did with that. That's a cool detail.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. That was the part I used the most, and use it to hide my Joes behind or for cover. You know, those pieces, those battleground pieces, as you like, those were great. Luckily, Cobra also got some defensive play sets. This is one I really like. The Cobra Bunker was given to us in the year 1985, or given. You have to buy it, of course, or your parents, but it's a cool little play set. And if you didn't have the budget for something as big as a Terror Dome, this could double up for it, though it being a little bit smaller. What are your thoughts about the Cobra Bunker, guys?
I love it.
Yeah, I do too. It's typical Cobra, where it's like it's a little sci-fi-ish, but yet still military, and of course the blue molding, and it's really cool.
And it comes with that ginormous missile rack.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always thought of it as like the laser igloo. You know, it kind of has an igloo feel to it.
It definitely.
It
with
does feel like an igloo.
That beautiful logo is that's
that
great.
Cobra. Oh, so
Love
cool.
that. Yep.
Yeah, this was the HQ for my Cobras, and you can hardly fit one or two figures in it if you try, but that was all I had for a base back in the days. Next to the shoebox, I converted into a Cobra headquarters, but this did the job for me. Another cool play set I had back in the day was the Cobra Surveillance Port, which was brought out in '86, I believe. Here's a photo of it. This is a cool set. It had some computers in it, and it had some weapons for defense, a radar disc, so they can use it as a, you know, communications port. Love this set, again in that beautiful blue. What do you think of this one, Pete?
What? Oh, sorry, I was just playing with mine. Hey, it's great. I was in here going, pew, pew, pew. It's so cool that it's on like this little jackable riser set.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't actually operate that way, but the fact that it's got like this mobile kind of thing implied to it, like they could pick it up and move it to another place. But I mean, it's got little ports to stick a rifle through, as well as the laser guns on top. Like you said, the radar. I mean, it's got a ton going on. It's one of my favorite little Cobra sets.
We're going to move to something bigger. We saw it in the cartoon. It's a beauty of a playset. It's next to you, Pete. It's the Cobra Terror Dome with a fire bat. How cool is that? This was released in '86. I'm going to give this one to you, Pete. What do you think?
I love this. This is actually my younger brother's. I got the tactical battle platform that Christmas, and he got this baby. And you know what? We shared everything equally. Imagine that, two brothers.
Mm.
But so much going on. I mean, the detention cell that's right here by me. You've got serviceable pads that come out with gas or oil, so you can work on your Cobra ferret. Like you mentioned, you can launch out the top. Plus, it's a silo door actuator there, so you've got that cool Cobra logo on top, and then it cuts away to launch. So awesome, and it's loaded with foot pegs. So I mean, you can't quite see it, but I bet I've got 40 figures just in the top alone. So I mean,
Yeah.
it makes for a great display.
Mm.
I love Terror Dome. I just picked one up about a year ago that I'm trying to restore, and boy, that's a bear to restore those things. But you know, you get the vehicle to launch the fire bat out of the top, the AVAC figure that goes with it. It's got everything. I mean, it is a monster, and to me, it's right up there with one, top 3 or 4 play sets ever for G.I. Joe. I mean, it's evil in the round, and it's just
Right.
It's got that sinister sort of feel to it that Cobra has to have. That Joe's just, Joe's are military and Cobra's evil, and this thing just speaks to that.
There are 2 big play sets we haven't mentioned so far. Of course, we have this amount of time and we can't handle every set, especially the big ones deserve more time. This one, the Defiance, we did a 3-part series about this one on the channel, which Jeff transported over to Pete. And the other elephant in the room is the USS flag, and this is a story on its own. And we have good news for you. The story about the flag is going to be on Iconicon tomorrow, so you'll be able to see Pete showing off his USS flag, and he did some modifications to that. So that's going to be good. And with that, we've reached the end of the show. How was it for you guys? I hope you had a good time.
I love play sets.
Dude, I can never get enough. And I'm not gonna lie, I love setting up the vignettes for the sets we reviewed. I had a blast spending hours, crafting that and
Me too.
placing figures.
I haven't taken my stuff outside in years, and I took my stuff outside and played with it. It was awesome.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's the way we play. To display is to play. That's why the word is in there. And on that bombshell, it's time to end the show. Thanks everybody for watching. We're most happy to be on Iconica and showing you what we can bring. And well, there'll be more Chasing 80s toys in the future. Look out for the flag video coming after this one. And for now, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.